watching Information for County Seniors. My name is Debbie MacDonald Moynes, and I'm the host of the show. I'm also the producer, and I'm Executive Director of the Prince Edward County Community Care for Seniors Association. Technical support is offered by Marjorie Villeneuve from Community Care. So thanks to Marjorie for everything she does. Today we're going to be talking about the active living programs that are available through Community Care for Seniors for anyone 60 and over. And our guest is Deborah Row, who is a coordinator from Community Care. Thanks for coming today, Deborah.
Thank you for having me on.
Yes. Well, Deborah, let's first talk about the kinds of programming, active living programming that you were offering before the pandemic. What were things, it seems like years ago now, it wasn't, but before the pandemic, what kinds of programming was being offered in Prince Edward County?
So we had a lot going on, and we held it both at the King Street offices and in all of the town halls. We had Wii bowling, we have Tai Chi classes, exercise classes, chair fits, that sort of thing. We also have all sorts of presentations going on in all of the town halls as well, with all in groups, of course. So that unfortunately has had to come to a screeching halt.
Yeah, well, the pandemic has certainly changed things, but it's been an opportunity to try something else. And so no longer are you able to have any in-person meetings. So I understand you've moved the programming online.
We have gone to a Zoom, and we're using this Zoom. It seems to be the most easily accessible by all. And we do have our webinars now that we're doing regularly every week, and we'll be adding to that as time goes on. And they are certainly giving us something to do with our isolation. We can come on and find out a little bit something. We might not be going on a hike, but we might be able to see some pictures and feel like we are.
Yes. So I'm just thinking, when people think about Zoom, a lot of people have seen this now, where there's many pictures of many people on the screen. But you mentioned, Deborah, that Community Care uses the webinar functions. So that makes it a little different. All the participants are not on the screen, are they?
That's correct. You can come in your pajamas. We will not see you. Which is quite nice. You will see the person doing the presentation and whatever they would like to show you picture-wise from their screen, and you'll see me, and then we have everyone muted so you can do whatever you want in the background. And then when it comes time for questions, we then open it up for you so that you can either ask your question or we'll read it for you. So there is interaction going on. Yes.
So you say that you know, people can do this, they log in to do this. What about the people that have some trouble with it? You know, maybe there's people they've read some things in the paper about Zoom, and so they're worried about that kind of thing. They have a computer, but they're a bit worried about it. What do you say to those people, Deborah?
Well, we certainly don't want someone to go on that has fears. And so we did open up a chat line. So
first let's just talk about the webinars first. So people that have a computer, and I know that Zoom, since the start of the pandemic, has added a number of safety protocols to their program. So if anyone's watching and they read some of those articles early on, maybe a few weeks ago, about Zoom, that's a very different situation then than it is now. Zoom has changed their protocols and their privacy policies, and we use the webinar function, which gives us control over who is able to get on to watch the program. So let's just first focus on the webinars. And so if a person is watching and they're thinking to themselves, well, now Debbie's told me that Zoom is safe, and it is to use, but a person's still having a little trouble with it, what can you offer to help them?
Well, you give us a call at the office and we'll get right back to you. We have volunteers that are very tech savvy. So we will line you up with your own personal volunteer that's going to help you get on Zoom, how to download, how to get on the webinars, and you'll be doing it by yourself the next week. They are,
Yes.
it's very
easy, isn't it?
It is.
With like anything new, it's kind of hard to try it out the first time. Once you get onto it with a little bit of help, my goodness, I've heard people say just how much they enjoy the webinars that you put on, Deborah, because you have all these great topics.
We do.
So maybe we should hear about some of the topics that are coming up in the month of June, which is Seniors Month in the province of Ontario, and we've got a good lineup to celebrate Seniors Month.
We do. We've got at least, I think we've got 5 webinars this month. We're slowly adding. So we are going to start out this week. We're going to have accessing library services from home. So we're going to have Liz Zylstra from the County of Prince Edward Library. They are offering a lot online. So we're going to learn a lot on that one.
Well, that'll be good, because anybody on the webinar already has a computer, or they wouldn't be on the webinar, so they'll learn all kinds of other things that they can learn and do through the library.
Yes, absolutely. And then following that, the next week, we've got 2 webinars going on. The first one's an introduction to living well, self-management programs. And we're going to have 2 people presenting on that. Carrie Ford with the Prince Edward Family Health Team, as well as Danielle Depchuk with the Living Well Self-Management Southeastern Ontario team. And they're going to give us a little introduction onto things that they have online that will help us.
Yes, I'm a big fan, as you know, Deborah, of those Living Well programs. They were developed by Stanford University, all evidence-based, very, very good for people living with chronic pain, living with chronic disease, helps them live a good life, as good a life as they possibly can. And all of that programming has been moved online, hasn't it? So now Carrie and Danielle are going to tell everyone about how they can get involved, and they don't even have to leave their house. They can do it right there. So some of these things are very good.
Yeah, that's going to be good. And then we will follow that with Alana DeVille with the Canadian Hearing Services. And she's going to do effective communication with older adults, which is all about, she's going to provide us with some tips and tricks. Tips and tricks, say that 3 times fast, and communication strategies for when you're on the telephone or in front of someone with a hearing disability that we all have. I have one now too, so that will be useful.
Yes, well, you're on every webinar, Deborah, so when you introduce them, thanks. So you'll have to pay attention to that one.
Exactly.
What's up the next week?
Well, we've got Molly McGowan with the Prince Edward Archives, Public Library Archives. She's going to do exploring the Prince Edward County Archives, and that's going to be exciting. So she'll teach us how we can look up our ancestors, or even just find out who lived in the house we're in many years ago and how it came to be. So that will be interesting.
Oh, she'll show some wonderful pictures of old Prince Edward County, I bet. That one, that's a good one to look forward to.
Yeah. And last up, we'll have, again, Danielle Depchuk is going to join us with the Living Well Self-Management Southeastern. She's doing an introduction on how to get the most out of your medical appointment, because nowadays you don't have a lot of time anymore.
Yes, and a lot of times people are doing them on the phone, and so that's another good topic. What a great lineup of webinars, and I know you're starting to think about topics for July and topics for August and all the months coming up, because we don't know how long we're going to be isolating at home like this, do we? So might as well just keep on with it.
Looking forward to doing it. It's lots of fun.
Yes, and a good response too from people who are wanting to participate. All of these are free. People can, we'll have at the end of the show, we'll have the phone number to call to sign up, and people can just get themselves signed up on the list of the upcoming dates. I know that there are some of the people, however, who are participating who don't have a computer, or maybe don't want to use the computer, and the telephone is the go-to thing, isn't it, Deborah? So you've lined up some group chats.
Yes, we're starting here with weekly chats we've had going for a month or two. We're going to continue that. We may add a few things to that as we're becoming more and more tech savvy here, and even on the telephone. It's really quite fun. So we do have some chats coming up. It's a half an hour chat, and we usually have a topic to start with. For example, this Friday we have spring bird arrivals with naturalist Terry Sprague. That should be very interesting. And you'll be able to ask Terry questions. We can hold up to about 15 people on the line, and it's like being on a party line, the old-fashioned party line. So we all can interact. It's lots of fun, actually.
Yes. And what are the things coming up after that?
After Terry, we've got library services. Liz Zylstra's going to let the people on the telephone line know how they can access some of her services. Then we're going to take a stroll in Glenwood Cemetery with Sandra Latchford of the cemetery company. I haven't been, and I understand it's absolutely gorgeous. She'll be able to tell you where you can actually go to stroll and invite you to come. It's, I guess, a wonderful park-like setting there. And finally, at the end of the month, we'll get to hear from Constable Aaron Miller. He had to cancel, was busy last month, so he's coming on to tell us all about the current frauds and scams that the telephone people might want to be alerted to. People coming to the door or on the phone, and then we'll know what's coming up. They're changing every week. They're getting very good. So we'll try and learn what to look for.
Now, all of these things are free, aren't they? The webinars, the telephone chats, people can sign up for just one or the other. They can sign up for them all. They can be busy all the time, Deborah. You've got so much on the go.
Yes, and keep watching, because we'll have a lot more coming up as we go. It's getting kind of fun.
Well, absolutely. You know, during the pandemic, we just have to do some things differently and offer things differently. We can't get people together in groups like we were before, but it sounds like you've come up with a great way that we can ensure that people during their self-isolation in their homes and staying home where they're staying safe, they can still get out and do other things, figuratively speaking, and participate. So thank you for telling us about it, Deborah, today. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I don't do this all alone. I thank you for all the help you provide, and the team at Community Care is wonderful. So we're all on board for these.
Well, we're all in it together. Thank you very much, Deborah. Today on Information for County Seniors, we've been talking about the webinars and the telephone group chats that Community Care for Seniors is offering as part of our Active Living program. We appreciate the help of Marjorie Villeneuve today as our technical support, and also Bob Schroen from the Kinsman Club of Pickle for putting this on the Eastlink Community TV. My name is Debbie MacDonald Moynes. Thank you for joining us today.